Energized show, up the Irish.
Okay, what's going on, guys, and welcome to a brand new episode of Energized, brought to you by Forged Irish Stout. Ross,
are you intoxicated or something?
Introduce the guest, man.
Today we have MMA superstar, boxing superstar, and some even call him an influencer. It's the one and only Kiefer Crosbie. Kiefer, how you doing, bud?
I've never been called an influencer. Only on a steady influence, but never actually an influencer. Yeah, but you were the first.
There we have it, but look, you're taking over that influencer boxing game, man. Like whatever you turn your hand to these days seems to go to gold, Kiefer. Tell us this. We'll start off with your last MMA fight, Cowboy Oliveira, over in Portugal. Like, what a night for you, but even the build up to the fight, like between the twos when you face off, like it was so intense. What was that fight week like for you? What was it like to get the win over a UFC vet?
Yeah, it was mad. I felt like, when I got there, like when I originally signed the fight, I didn't really think of the show. I just thought of the opponent. I just seen Cowboy's name and I literally jumped on it. Do you know what I mean? I was like, yes, this is the fight I need. I need to be someone like him, and I'm fucking in the UFC. That's what I've been waiting for a long time. As you know, I've always been calling out names and UFC vets. I've always asked for that. Do you know what I mean? So when I seen that, I was like, I have to jump on this. But when I got to Portugal, I really realised when I landed, I was like, oh, fuck, I'm the out-of-town bloke here. I'm not the fan favourite. They don't want me to win this fight. I didn't realise this until I got there. It was basically a Brazilian-ran show in Portugal. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's speaking Portuguese. He was the star of the show. They were building the show with him, but using me because I have a big profile and I come to fight. And they thought maybe he's just going to walk through me. Do you know what I mean? So, I could feel that on the fight week. I could feel that every day. Like they were ignoring me and they weren't answering back the text, and it was a bit all over the shop. Do you know what I mean? But even at the face-offs, like they didn't even tell me the times I was supposed to face off. I just rocked up and I was waiting there for an hour or two. Do you know what I mean? And then we'd done all that, and it was just a bit of a weird one, yeah. But obviously, then none of that matters. You know what I mean? My goal was to fucking just win this fight and get my hand raised and finish him. I kind of had that in my head. I was like, I better finish this. If this goes to the judges and I'm even smashing them for 3 rounds, you never know. You know what I mean? In this type of situation. So I've had it in my head, I have to finish this person here. I have to, do you know what I mean? And I did. And yeah, it was a great win. It was a great win, yeah. I was very happy with it.
Kiefer, if I was to describe your fighting style to anyone, I'd just be like, watch this fight. This is Kiefer Crosbie. Like, going in there, like, you really shut up a lot of people, and you made everyone know that you are definitely worthy of being in the UFC.
Yeah. Look, listen, I don't do this to prove myself to anyone, do you know what I mean, other than myself. So if you were to ask me the question, do I think I'd be able to win in the UFC, the answer's always been yes. You know what I mean? And you can always judge a fighter by his losses if you want. That's fair enough. But like, when is the last time I've been in a fight that's been boring? When have you have any of my amateur or pro fights, have you looked and gone, he's actually a boring fighter? Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't tune in to watch him. Everyone wants to see me fight. So regardless, win, lose, draw, it's always going to be an exciting build-up. It's always going to be an exciting fight. And that's just how I fight, you know what I mean? And it's just natural to me to fight like this. More so, I like to strike. I love to stand. I love to fight proper, do you know what I mean? I love grappling as well, of course. And but, worthy of it, yes. Do you know, I think so. Do you know what I mean? What else are you supposed to fucking do? You know what I mean? You beat someone like a veteran like Cowboy, who's, a world-class famous fighter in the UFC, and he's beaten some big names and fought everyone. And then I go in and smash him in 1 round. And I'm a big profile name in Ireland, and I have the whole country behind me, and everyone knows what's up here. So, I mean, there's only so much you can do, do you know what I mean? I mean, there's no set criteria. That's the frustrating part. You know what I mean? There's no fucking do this and this and you're in. Like, there's none of that. Do you know what I mean? You just have to kind of hope in a way. Do you know what I mean? Hopefully I'll get the call, and I didn't, and it's disappointing in a way, but what are you supposed to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I suppose you've done your part, and like it's not like he was washed either. He went on and won his next fight as well.
Yeah, no, he's a beast. That's what I'm saying. He had 2 knockouts before my fight back to back. I smashed him, and then he fought right after me and knocked the guy who was actually a beast as well. It was a look at and Uchi had the judo throw, very nice, throw and knocked him out. It was deadly. So he's still very much there. Do you know what I mean? And his last loss in the UFC was against Kevin Holland, and he won the first round against him. Do you know what I mean? So he's still at a high level. And regardless of all that, you get called the UFC veteran if you lose 2 fights in the UFC, and people use that as I'm fighting a UFC veteran. He's actually a UFC veteran. He's the most veteran you can get. Do you know what I mean? And you know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Yeah, you must be plus 15 fights minimum, like maybe even over 20.
20 in the UFC. Yeah, very impressive.
So,
he's main evented events as well.
Yeah, plenty of them. Yeah, against Kevin, like loads of people. Yeah, he's fucking high level. So, well, look, what can you do? Oh, that's in the past now. I've done my job, and I can just go forward and hope for the best.
Was there any talk with your management in the build up to this fight, being like, look, if you do this something else could potentially happen, maybe a contender series, or obviously the Ultimate Fighter is on at the moment. I know it's fully wrapped up for recording, and there was a lightweight division. Was there any talk of that as well, Kiefer?
Contender series is there. You know what I mean? I know I'm rumored to be on the list or whatever, but I mean that in itself isn't a guarantee. Do you know what I mean? That's none of that is like. That doesn't make me happy, or maybe. That doesn't maybe for me. So it's like, am I on it or am I not on it? I want to know. So I hate all this. I'm in limbo. Like, what do I do here? Am I fighting in August, September, October, or am I not? I need to know. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's why I took that boxing fight. It's because I'm sitting around, I'm training, but it's like, I'm not training for anything. I'm just training, and it's very frustrating. And, you have to pay the bills, man. You can't, going to the gym doesn't earn me money. Training sessions don't earn me money. They cost me. I drive to the gym every day, twice a day. It costing me money. Do you know what I mean? And eating clean and doing all the routine stuff. So I needed something to kind of keep me focused on something and earn a few bob. And you know what I mean? I'd like to know if I was on the contender series, right, you're fighting in, September against whoever. Do you know what I mean? And that'd be great, but I haven't heard that, so let's see what happens.
Well, if you don't get the direct call, hopefully you are in the contender series, and we'll definitely get you back on, because I'm sure you'll have the whole of Ireland staying up all night to watch you on Tuesday night, Ross.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, there's been a larger push of European talent at the moment than there has been in a while. So hopefully that is coming. I know we saw Shannon Bannas in the UFC now. I know you actually do some strength training where we saw Reece McKee's been signed. We saw Caelan Loughran's been signed. You know what I mean? They're looking at Paul Hughes to get signed. So hopefully all these guys can keep on getting signed to the UFC, and then we'll then in turn, have yourself added to that list, and hopefully we can have Crow Park next year, and hopefully we can have that big successful occasion.
Yeah, that'd be something else. You know what I mean? I don't see why not. There shouldn't be a limit or a cap or a fucking, everyone should just get in. I mean, if you're a good fighter and an excellent fighter, you're winning fights, let's go. Let's give us. Why does it have to be this big fucking thing? Only sign a few. Sign everyone. Try everyone. Do you know what I mean? There's so many good fighters in this country, man. There's so many good fighters, and we're so unique as well. How we go about ourselves, how we fight, and we bring something very different to the table. I think. You know what I mean? Even from a tour person, I'm looking at it from a fan's perspective. You know what I mean? Who's the most exciting fighter that's ever fought in the UFC ever? Is an Irishman. It's Conor. Do you know what I mean? So if you get other Irish people in there, how many Americans are signed to the UFC? You know what I mean?
No, I 100% agree. I think a major factor for UC Fight Pass signing ourselves is because we're Irish, if you couldn't tell. And then I think now that more people are being signed from Ireland, they know themselves that it's 10 years since UC Dublin back in 2014. Next year, from the Tree Arena, when obviously Conor beat Brandao and all the Irish won, they're going to be doing a UFC Dublin next year, because as you can see from the London cards, they're sort of tailing off a bit, and UFC Dublin is going to happen, and there's no way you will not be on the card. The likes of Lee Hammett as well, Danny McCormick, Paul Hughes, and there is potential for other people as well to be on the card as well. So I mean, they know.
But you need ticket sellers, and I heard Kingpyn Boxing needed ticket sellers, so they rang the Big Daddy.
They brought Big Daddy.
Yeah, how did that one come about, actually, the Kingpyn? Because obviously it was interesting to see yourself and Keen on. 2 great performances. Very impressive, both you guys. Really put on a good show for the Irish fans. But how did that come about in the first place?
Yeah, well, they texted me before the Cowboy fight. They actually, maybe 2 weeks before Cowboy, and they reached out and they were like, have you any interest in fighting Aaron from Geordie Shore and this boxing yoke? And the way I thought about it, I was like, no, I'm focused on this fight. That's all my mindset is on now. I never think of a fight ahead. Do you know what I mean? I always just think whatever. That's what I focus on. So I couldn't even think about that. I was like, nah, I'm not interested at all, to be honest. And after this, I'm going to be in the UFC. That's because I literally was convinced. I was like, I'm going to go in here and beat this man 100% on getting the call up. Do you know what I mean? This is what I need. And that was my mindset back then. After the fight, obviously, wait a week or two. They reached out again. Have you any interest in Aaron? Great fight, blah, blah, blah. I said, listen, no, my goal is the UFC. That's what I want. And then they just kept hounding me, kept reaching out. And it was kind of obvious. It was like, I looked at the people on the card and I was like, I didn't know any of them. Didn't know one fighter on the card, me. So I understand, it's like, oh, they need an Irish, but they need me to come in and help sell the tickets to get a bit of interest from the local people. And then obviously Ian got the same kind of call as me, and I was like, oh, they need two, you know, the two of us to come in here and kind of push the ticket sales, and that was fair enough. And obviously some of the lads that worked for Kingpyn used to work in Bama back in the day, so they realised the amount of tickets I used to sell and how much of the, you know what I mean, the buzz I would generate for the week or whatever. So I was kind of hemming and hawing about it, and then I was like, I don't know if I want to do this, to be honest. I just, but then I'm sitting at home, I'm training, I'm frustrated with this UFC thing. I've no desire to have another MMA fight, and this is in the UFC, to be honest. So I'm sitting here going, what do I do here? Like, do you know what I mean? Do I fucking just not, you know, train up or something? So I said, you know, fuck it, I'll just do it, earn a few bob, have a bit of fun, make a bit of noise, and it's in the Tree Arena. That was a big incentive. You know what I mean? I haven't fought there since 2020, so I just said, yeah, fuck it. Like, I mean, I've had harder spars in the gym than not no disrespect to Aaron. Like, the people I spar, man, are like, I'm getting punched in the head anyway. I may as well get a few quid for it. That's why I kind of looked at it. You know, he's not going to knock me out. Do you know what I mean? He's not going to outclass me. I get outclassed in the gym by high level fighters. Do you know, I know my level. Do you know what I mean? So I just said, yeah, fuck it, let's just do it. And it just kind of it worked real quick. I kind of only signed the contract like maybe 5 weeks before that fight, or 4 weeks. I wasn't really, you know, I didn't really train like for a big stint, really. Like, I only did 5 weeks of boxing training. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And what was it? 3-minute rounds or 2-minute rounds?
5-3. Yeah,
5 threes. Yeah, exactly. Like that, you'd have that in your locker, no bother, most days of the week anyway. You know what I mean? Like, without having to put the training camp in. And if someone put Kiefer Crosbie in 5 threes, no bother to him. You know what I mean?
It's different, though. In fairness, it's a different sport. You know what I mean? It requires different energy systems, and you know, the output is a lot different than an MMA. Do you know what I mean? The pace is very different. There's a lot of like break, strike. You have to, you know, keep throwing shots, score your points, and rack up the shots. And obviously, I'm always looking for that perfect knockout shot. I'm always looking to knock people out, but you can't just fight like that for 5 rounds. You have to be smart. And if you watch the fight, I said it beforehand, I'm going to outbox him, I'm going to outclass him, and then I'm going to knock him out. I didn't knock him out, but I did outbox him and outclass him, and then I dropped him twice in 1 round. In fairness to him, he got up and he bit down and he came forward, and I wasn't expecting that from him. When I heard him twice bad. His eyes were literally rolling, and in my head I was thinking, he's done here. Like, I just have to finish him once more. But in fairness, he bit down and fought hard back. So big respect to him for that, to be honest. I wasn't expecting him to be, you know, that resilient, that tough, do you know what I mean? And have that in him, that dog. So in fairness to him, he's a lot better than people even give him credit for. Even me, like, I probably beforehand overlooked him a little bit. I knew he was good, but I didn't think he was going to be even that good, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Kiefer, like I tuned in to watch all the stuff in the build up as well. Like, yourself on the mic, like, you're a comedy gold, man. Like, this isn't an exhibition. This is an execution. Like, the face off you had with Aaron as well, like talking about this isn't Geordie Shore and all this sort of stuff. Like, it was unbelievable. It was so funny. You totally stole the show from these quote unquote influencers. Like, as Ross says, you probably are the biggest influencer on the card now. Bar, you're one getting their tits out, but like, as you just said there, like, Aaron, like, he really put it to you, and he really, like, he put on a great performance, because, like, he was almost like, we've met Aaron before. He's actually a great guy, and he was almost like proving to himself, like, he was going into your back garden, and like, he really brought it to you. But like, obviously you came out on top as well. But like, one thing, the entrance song, Crazy World, walking out to Aslan, like, when did that come to your mind that was going to be the perfect song? Because, like, when that went on, fucking hell, man.
Yeah, well, funny enough, I've wanted to come out to that song even in 2020, back in the day. I have a friend, Noel Regan, who normally mixes on my entrance music and all this. And we were talking about it years ago, 2020. And he said, oh, it's a great entrance song. The whole crowd know it. Guaranteed everyone's going to sing along. And then he had it mixed. And then at the last minute, I changed it to fucking Maniac, funny enough. I remember Mark McKay.
Yeah.
Iconic.
Is it 2000 or 3000?
I wanted something that the Irish fans would know.
Yeah.
But then, after that, then I was like, I kind of regretted not coming out to that. And then the pandemic happened, and then I hadn't fought there in years. And then Christie literally just passed away a month ago. So on the day I fought was his month's mind. 1 month, he passed away. So I kind of just made sense. I was like, this makes so much sense to walk into this song now. You know, more. So I was like, and it worked so well. The whole crowd was singing. I fought in the 3 Arena. That was my 7th time. That was 100% by far the best walkout and experience I've ever had in my fighting career so far. I've never seen that like it. It was actually nuts. Everyone was on their feet singing it. It was like, it was just fucking mad, yeah. And I wasn't expecting it to even be like that big. But in fairness to Kingpyn, they went all out and had put on a big production show. You know what I mean? So it was something to remember for sure, yeah.
Yeah, Kiefer, can I just ask you about the crowds? Sorry, Ross. Can I just ask you about crowds? You're obviously at the Katie Taylor fight. You're obviously competing in this one, and you've done numerous shows in Bellator. What's the difference between the Bellator crowds, the Kingpyn crowd, and the Katie Taylor crowd?
Well, the Kingpyn crowd was a lot of Brazilian people there. Your man that fought event lad, Whindersson Nunes, I didn't even know who he was, but he's a huge, big global superstar, 60 million followers on Instagram, big comedian. I didn't know who he was, but when we went to even the press conference, all the amount of Brazilian people that were there, and there's a lot of Brazilian people in Ireland and in Dublin, so they all went to support him. Luckily enough, the Brazilians also loved the Irish, so they were all you know what I mean? They loved, so they were all on my side. The Katie Taylor fight, you had rich people basically that was sitting there ringside.
Besides you,
I was ringside. I got free tickets down there. But ringside is just like, you know, that was weird. And then Bellator is kind of just like, I don't know. I think the crowd is weird now. It's kind of here. I'm missing it a bit with Bellator. I used to sell out back in the day. It's a bit choppy now. Maybe because they haven't got that big dog back on. But I mean, they need a few ticket sellers, but I'll say nothing. I don't want to rock the boat. Because I'm going over to James next week, in America. I'm cornering James next week, so I don't want to rock the boat too much, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
mind your P's and Q's, just
Yeah, I don't give a bollocks about
you don't have the rematch with Aaron and Bellator, do you?
Nah, come on, let's be real now. Come on now. Come on now.
Look,
admitted if you watch the fucking face off, I even said to him, would you actually fight me? And he's like, no, I wouldn't.
Yeah, no.
In fairness to him, he admitted it. But, yeah, no, the crowds are great though. I don't know. And Dublin is the best place to fight, I think. Well, I haven't fought everywhere in the world, but from what I've seen, you just don't get a crowd like the Irish crowd, man. It's just magic. Imagine the UFC came back here. Yeah, imagine the fucking UFC came back here, and we're trying to recreate the 2004. Imagine them. I'm on it, Lee's on it, and everyone else you named, all the Irish. You get big fucking 10 of us on it all at once. Imagine what that'd be like. And try just outdo it. Do you know what I mean? Like it's never been done before. Like honestly, man, it'll be fucking. I can see that happening. I just know it's gonna happen. I just know it's gonna happen. Do you know what I mean? I can't take no for an answer in a way with this. You know what I mean? I just know it will. And it's a great thing that the boys got signed this week. Reese and Quilon, do you know what I mean? And then Shauna as well. Obviously, I know she had a bit of a hiccup last week. Doesn't matter though. She still blew up, made a great impression. A lot of media. She's done a great job. Hopefully now she gets another shot and goes in and just smokes whoever. You know, it's a big fucking task as well. That UFC debut. It's a lot of riding on her, man. It's a lot of pressure. You know what I mean? And they put obviously a lot of pressure on her, building her up. And I thought she'd done a good job. Went 3 rounds. It was a good fight, entertaining. She showed some skills. I don't think she showed all of her ability, but imagine like it comes back to Dublin and what will you be like comfortable in our backyard? It'd be fucking magic. Yeah. So I'm just I'm hopeful that'll happen. I really am. Fucking right.
Yeah, but you know what? I almost think Dublin's biggest problem right now is actually venue sizes, because like weather-wise, we're not great for doing an outdoor stadium, but like the 3 Arena is almost too small for a show of the magnitude that we can actually bring it now. You know what I mean? So like, we have to. I know what's it called. We had the big top out in the Red Cow. We need to build like that, except like 100 times bigger somewhere. Yeah, exactly.
Crow Park, and you're laughing. Yeah, they could probably do it. That can be done, definitely.
Yeah. Well, they do it in, is it Wembley? Wembley has
loads of places. They do a big in loads of places. You know what I mean? That can be done easily. I just don't know if they want to do it like that. You know what I mean? Imagine Conor main event in Crow Park and everyone else. Stop, William, and that'd be just nuts. Imagine Chandler Crow Park and then all of us on the undercard. Like that'd be just. Mad.
Yeah, I'd
Oh
love to
my
see
God.
them build it Ireland versus the rest of the world. Like
Yeah.
that's what people want to see. Like, and
That's my philosophy in this game. I have no desire to fight another Irish person. People will be always saying to me, "Oh, would you fight him? Would you fight?" No, I don't want to fight any other Irish man. Why would I want to do that? I'm representing Ireland here. I want to fight the rest of the world. Exactly. You know what I mean? That's the whole buzz. I'm representing Irish MMA. You know, me fighting another Irish man just wouldn't sit right with me or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. Everywhere you go, you bring the Dublin flag and the Irish flag as well, man. Like,
Yeah. Big time.
everyone knows like you represent Ireland like brilliantly well, and like the fights you put on as well, Kiefer. Jesus, man, I'm surprised like you don't give many people nightmares, man.
Yeah, probably. Fight game. I mean, I'm on this side, there on that side. You know, we sign up. It's a mad sport. You have to be kind of a special type of person to have the courage to do this sport. So anyone that I'm fighting, you know, they know what they're signing up for. And also me too. Like, I was going to that Cowboy fight nervous. You know what I mean? I was like, this man has been in here. He's not going to be afraid of me. Do you know what I mean? Who am I to him? I'm just some fucking European lad in his head. He's not thinking of, you know, I'm a big name. He doesn't give a shit. And I felt that off him in there. Like, he came to me with no respect. He came out first 10 seconds throwing bombs. He didn't give a shit. You know what I mean? So that's why I had to just go, right, bite down here and fight through this now. My whole game plan was like the opposite. I wanted to stay away and be smart and snipe him. I couldn't. He just ran to me and started trying to take me head off. So I had to bite down and fight him back, put him on the back foot. And then I did, and it turned into a bit of a war. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously he's so tough, but... And then I just said, right, here we go again. It's almost like an alarm goes off in my head, like, here we go again. Another fucking war. You know what I mean?
But shout out to Keen for a live stream that as well, because it was difficult to try and get a hold of to watch. But also the documentary that was made in that as well, Kiefer, that was shot absolutely brilliantly. It was unreal. Even the afters behind the scenes, it was absolutely loved him, man. Like, and
that's great. He trains in SPG too. He's Bravey Media on Instagram. Deadly, man. He's fucking having him there. He documented the one. I put the clip up the other day of behind the scenes with Aaron as well. He has all that documented as well. It's good to have all this footage, you know what I mean? Because now it's cool to look at. But imagine in 20, 30 years having all that stuff, all the behind the scenes, the way cutting, all the, you know, stuff you don't really see or think of. It's all great to have that, you know what I mean? Because, you know, it's gonna be career's gonna be over someday, you know what I mean? So it's good to have this to look back on, all of it documented. You know what I mean?
it'd be for the movie Big Daddy 2, the first one with Adam Sandler, the second one with Kiefer Crosbie.
I'm available, Hollywood. Give me a bit.
Is that mural? Is that mural of yourself still up in town?
Oh, they tore the building down. Yeah, this, you know, I was scared.
I should have left you the wall.
Bad for business it was, yeah.
Kiefer, there's obviously like there's loads more stuff we'd love to talk to you about, but like there's obviously some things you can't tell us. Like, but in an ideal situation, would you rather put the boxing gloves back on next or the MMA gloves on next?
I'd love to put the UFC gloves on next, to be honest. Yeah, UFC. No, that's me. I think you look. There's probably more money to be made in this influencer scene. Don't get me wrong, but me goals are me goals. You know what I mean? And I'd love to just put them UFC gloves on, walk into that octagon, and say I did it. You know what I mean? That's the whole. It's my Mount Everest in a way. It's like when people climb Mount Everest, I'm like, why the fuck would you want to climb Mount Everest? And you can never imagine why anyone would want to do that. Do you know what I mean? But to me, it's like I have to do it. I have to get to that UFC. It's a goal. And I know myself, I'll fucking be depressed for the rest of my life if I can't just do it. Do you know what I mean? I have to do it. So see what hopefully in the next few months we'll have good news and see what happens. Yeah, UFC glove.
Yeah, I think it's something that it'd be foolish for it not to end up happening. I think, like you say, like, you know, you bring a lot of attention in, you know, inside the cage, like sheer violence, like even your face-offs are entertaining. Like just the intimidation factor that you bring. You're just like, geez, you wouldn't want to mess with that fella. You know what I mean?
I'm actually a nice bloke, I know.
No, yeah, you are. Met you in person, you're a lovely fella. But it's one of those things where, like, when you get the face-off going, you're like, oh Jesus Christ, like this guy just brings it, and then he brings it in the cage as well. So it's one of those things where it'd be an absolute shambles if it doesn't happen. I hope it does happen for you, like on a personal and professional level. I think you deserve it. And like it'd be great to have another Irish person in there, and as they're coming closer to a return to Dublin, it'd be great to have a fight in the UFC before the Dublin card as well.
Yeah, big time, man. Fair play to you boys. Well, you're always pushing us and getting behind us and tagging us, and it doesn't go unnoticed. You know what I mean? I really appreciate all that as well, and I'm sure everyone thinks the same. Do you know what I mean? Everyone, all the stuff. Yeah, and the fucking Matt Brown thing you put up. My God, yeah, my phone was bleeding, hopping. Me ma rang me. Brian, oh my God, you gone to the UFC? And I was like, did you read the thing? She's like, no, we just seen the poster. And next, fuck, James Gallagher rang me. He was like, bro, you're in the UFC. And I was like, did you even read the fucking thing? You know what I mean? The amount of people that are ringing me and texting me thinking I'm in, you know what I mean? But I even thought about it. I was like, fucking hell, looks real, eh? But yeah, fair play to you, but yeah, maybe don't do that again.
maybe that was a little bit too real. But like again, we're trying to just constantly push the narrative that you guys should be in the UFC.
And that blew up as well. Do you know what I mean? Imagine when I announce that I'm in the UFC, it'll fucking blow up. Yeah, well, I'm saying. Get that finger out there. Let's go, give a bell.
Kiefer Crosbie versus Matt Brown at UFC Dublin 2024. That's the scrap to make. Kiefer, just before we wrap things up, is there anything else you want to say to people tuning in now? Like, there's loads of BDK fans. Like, whether they like, can you just let them know like what you have to say before we wrap things up, bud?
Yeah, just thanks very much. I mean, even since my amateur days, I've had loads of support and loads of people just even follow me on Instagram, liking me shit, texting me every single day. Like, it's mad. You know what I mean? I look at it like, this is nuts. You know what I mean? I know Instagram's the thing now and it's easy to just like shit and all, but like, it doesn't go unnoticed. You know what I mean? I get a lot of support. I really do. I really appreciate it. And even like the walking out in the crowd and all, and shit like this it means a lot to fighters like us. You know what I mean? We're sacrificing our lives here and doing this, and to have such support is crazy. And I just appreciate it a lot. So yeah, long may this fighting career last. Yeah,
BDK Army is out in full support.
Yes.
Yeah. You up the dubs?
Yes, you up the dubs weekend. Let's go.
Yeah.
Ross, take us away, bud. Yeah.
Guys, thanks to everyone who supports us. Thanks to everyone who supports Kiefer. It actually does mean a lot. It actually does help us in our careers as well. So we really appreciated that. And for us, if you just like, share, subscribe, that really helps us. And as always, stay energized.
Energized show, up the Irish. Been sussing you guys a couple of times. I've seen a couple of clips. I think you've done some interviews with Dylan Moran and that I saw. So keep going, keep up the good work, guys.